Heidi Roizen is an amazing individual, and it was a pleasure to read her biography as outlined in the paper required for the class. Um, some of my thoughts on her career, obviously an incredible leader, an incredible career starting at the beginning when Silicon Valley was first started. I have similarities with my own background in that that's the time I grew up in Silicon Valley as well, having been born and raised in Cupertino, just down the street from Apple. Heidi represents what we call a super connector. As I said, her career is amazing, and her reciprocity style proved to be something that was very, very valuable to her throughout her career. Being an English major, breaking into Silicon Valley was not easy, and she did that through the writing of a company newsletter. But she used those opportunities from the very beginning to connect with people, to connect with the right people at the right time throughout her life. And what she learned from her first job was that she had an audience, and she took advantage of that. She was able to sit in important meetings for her work, connected with the CEO of the company who would give her information to put in the company newsletter. And she took very early advantage and saw the power of those kinds of connections of important people in her life very quickly. She used that to get into Stanford Graduate School of Business. And from that point on, a lesson well learned. She understood how connections could really change her life and her career. She was very much a giver throughout her career, which I don't want to say is posthumous. She is currently working and is currently continues to be very, very successful. But as a giver, juxtaposed to takers, fakers, and matchers, as outlined by Adam Grant, she really demonstrates the value of having a great reciprocity style, coupled with all of the other things that it takes in business to make that a success. Uzi and Dunlap really bring this out in their writings, and how networks really provide three key advantages. One, they provide access to private information, access to diverse skill sets, and power. When you develop a network that is both personal and professional, it is really very, very important to recognize that, as Heidi did, that those connections and that network has to be carefully managed. And she did that throughout her career. One of the things that really struck me as a difference between what I do and have done and what she had done is that I tend to connect people without looking, not only without looking for something in return, but a mistake I think I make is that I don't make the connection with consideration of the person that I'm connecting this person with. In other words, as Heidi did, she took the time to make sure that all of her connections would be meaningful to the person being connected to, and that she first reviewed what that person wanted before she made that connection. The example of connecting with a CEO, where the gentleman sent a proof of an email that was several pages long, and her feedback was, look, this needs to come down in just a few bullet points because this person is very, very busy, and they're just going to forward that to someone that can take care of the problem, so state the problem. The self-similarity trap, again, as outlined by Uzi and Dunlap, was something that I think that Heidi avoided. You know, she was, as you know in the paper, famous for her dinner parties and for doing things in connecting people, both in her personal and private life. And even more remarkable than that, when she changed careers, or her career focus, I should say, from the software industry to the internet, which is something that she was very, very interested in 1999, that proved to me as a reader and to others that, look, Heidi diversified the number and type of people that she connected with professionally. And of course, we know that personally, she lived that throughout her whole life in connecting friends and family and just having a welcome place that people could come to throughout her life in her home. one of the things that I found through the reading, the Cialdini reading, were the six sort of human drives and needs that sort of drive persuasion that I feel Heidi embraces. Liking, you need to like the person that you're working with. Reciprocity, social proof, and authority and scarcity. All of these things I think she embodied, but what I found was that the combination of several of these sorts of human drives really did assist her in her ability to be persuasive, her ability to be authoritative, and recognized as the expert that she was, and trusted, I should say, and being recognized as the expert that she was throughout her career with the people that she met. I think that one of the other really important things as I look at success and I look at her success, and success is something that is fleeting for many, but for those that do achieve it, the way they define it is really the most important piece of that journey, and that is a success needs to have a positive effect on others. It can't be just about your success, and I think that the people that interacted with Heidi certainly would give that feedback, not only through her investments and her tenure at SoftBank, her personal commitments to people through her personal life and her family life, but the commitment to others combined with her individual achievements is really what helped define success for her. And I think that she embodies the type of person that many of us strive to be in that she's well-rounded. And she found a way not to sort of silo her friends, her personal friends, from her professional friends. She opened up her entire life to everybody. Going back several lessons, she is the same person in each room of the house. And she is the same person whether she was at work, whether she was at home, whether she was at the supermarket. And I think that's very, very important point, that having that transparency, being genuine, being true to herself, being her authentic self is something that really stands out to me, and is something that is really remarkable about her career. Thank you.